Welcome back. Like I promised you, we are going to continue with the discussions on the challenges young men face, specifically African young men. You are welcome back, Bernard, hello. Peter, and Clement. And thanks for accepting the invitation for us to continue with the discussion we began earlier. Right now, we are going to look at the huge expectation from our family members and the fact that they expect us to support our younger siblings and even a lot of family members, both nuclear and external. How does this burden affect us as a young man?
I see this to be a step back in life. Because a young man has started life, maybe with a new job, starting receiving something small to keep life on. And after a while, a call will come. We need money for this. Funeral, school fees, feeding. And sometimes you see, the little you have saved, then you have to give it out. And in life, the best way you can start life, or you can establish is your savings. Whether to take on that venture or to something for savings. And as you have saved, the family is dependent on it. So at the end of the day, it will come to not, because you don't have anything, and you have taken that burden on yourself in the name of family. So this one always introduces the youth in their life, and it's not helping them at all.
So which means that the little salary that you get almost every time, I mean, there are demands from family members that bring some for this, bring some for that. It's not easy.
It's not easy. Because sometimes, medical reasons and some other, it can become an urgent for you to just send the money.
The way, okay, all right.
Please, let me come. We are Africans. And in Africa, we are very humane. Again, one person is able to marry more than one. And as a result, that dependency thing we are talking about, you can't ignore it.
Right. You can't. If somebody is going to marry more than one and have more children, then you must be able to as well take care of those children. Why should you leave uncompleted assignment for your children who are going to meant to come and continue?
You and I believe, and we have also been seeing in Africa, that somebody else in your family, your father line or your siblings, who are not your mother's children, because we think that is also your responsibility. Somebody else's daughter or son helped looking after you during your education period. And so you should also replicate that.
But my concern is those going for multiple wives. If maybe you are 50 years, 60 years, and then maybe some of them keep on marrying, some of them maybe keep on marrying more wives at a time. Would you suggest that we castrate those men, or what?
No. I don't subscribe to that, and I wouldn't want to subscribe to that. But then, my point here is, because your other sibling from another mother or another wives of your father helped you when you were in your educational ladder or period. It is up to you to also help.
I see.
But there should be a caveat, because you can't say because your brother or your siblings helped in catering for you, you should also extensively help. But at least you look at it. Vis-a-vis your income, then
you are right. But I think this issue of multiple wives, I have to even have a different session for the advantage and disadvantage of multiple wives. I can see you are nodding your head. And what do you say to this point?
Yes, let me make some input into this interesting subject. I will call it and necessary evil. Necessary evil.
Yes.
In that sometimes, unfortunately, if you are the firstborn to be educated, you have an added responsibility. So it's like the family has invested in you, and by the grace of God, you have completed school and got a job.
So you have to reap.
They have no idea how much you earn. And so the calls will keep coming. Your siblings' school fees, medical. And I believe this is the reason why we don't make progress in life. If you compare yourself in a part of the world to somebody else in another part of the world, you realize that the dependency
Yes.
on those on the other side of the world is not as it is here.
Yeah, especially on men, on us African
Exactly.
men.
Especially because in our part of the world, the social and family bond is much stronger, if I will put it so. So your nieces and nephews can even call on you for support, in addition to your siblings. And we expect that you have to honor all of those. But with that, meager salary, it is not going to be easy. And so you'll be struggling. And if you put a posture like you won't mind anybody, it is like you are wicked. Maybe while you were in school, your sister or brother bought you some, a bowl of garri to take to school.
Sometimes they can even refer you.
Yes. You can imagine that. And so you have to help. And in helping, you are retrogressing. And that's why I called it a necessary.
Yeah. And I understand there being some of the nieces and then some of the nephews may even be wishing that you're not helping them enough, so you die and they.
Especially if it is a matrilineal system.
Yes, and then you are pending that the head of the clan will come and drive. We thank God for PNC Law 111 that doesn't allow people to come and drive widows from their homes.
Yeah. And it's a necessary evil, as I said, because if you look at the challenges they are also facing, the issue is that if no help comes, in the end it becomes like you are the only one educated and at the top there. And eventually even their children will become your responsibility.
That is true. That is true.
And so you want to see how you can help some of them so that at least they can also get to a point where they can also support.
And unburden you.
Yes. And trying to help to unburden you, you get more burden.
And men bro. African men are suffering. So ladies, sometimes don't think that it is the men that do not want to get married. Because some of the things that the young African man has to go through before he will be able to establish himself and start getting married. Sometimes the person will go past 30 years before he starts. So don't worry, don't think that they don't want to marry you. We love you. We want to marry you. But sometimes it's a financial situation and a lot of family challenges. But hey, if you have the money, you come and marry us.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, bro.
So let me chip in this. In Africa and our world that we find ourselves, sometimes, Christians as we are, we want to get the best out of the lot ladies we have around. And by so doing, we'll be praying more, searching more, and all this goes along with years. Why? Because they want to be sure. They want to be sure. So, in as much these problems we are discussing are around, they want to also stay focused and be sure, so that they don't mess up. Because we have been made to understand you need to pick one and one for the rest of your life. So if you are not sure, you pick one and you misfire, it means that you're going to go through. So ladies, it is not as if we don't, but sometimes we have to be sure.
Yeah, I think from the ongoing discussion, it let me understand something. when you go to some churches and they say the youth, then 45-year-old, 46-year-old, they are part of the youth of the church. Because by the time he will start working, he's already 30, 35 years. So that's the reason why in some churches the youth, maybe 45, are being counted as part of the youth.
Probably. And I think sometimes to that where the youth connotes to people who are unmarried.
Yes.
That's how sometimes you see.
Yeah.
So as soon as the lady or the gentleman marry, when you call for youth, they won't turn up.
They won't come. Even if the age,
Even if they are below.
below 40.
I see.
You know.
Oh, I see. Remember at Prime Testimony, we will make you laugh, we will make you smile. At the end of the day, you are still learning. Assembled here are Bernard, Peter, and Clement, and we are still on the issue of the challenges young, men face. Right now, I want us to look at certain expectations. Women's expectation of men, or the ladies or girls' expectation of young men who are starting lives.
I remember there was this story I witnessed. There was this young lady who was the only daughter of her parents. And at the time when she wanted to marry, the young guy had just finished training college.
So teachers training college.
Teacher training
Okay.
college. So he had little to offer. But then, because of the state or the status of the family of the young lady, that she's the only daughter, and so blah blah blah, her wedding should be mega and stuff like that. High expectation from the family, especially the mother.
They are not bringing money.
No, the young guy thought they were going to help him. So he gathered his friends, brought out car. So the young guy and his friends and the family had to travel far off from where they were to where the lady comes from. In the end, I met with him and we were discussing what went on during his marriage ceremony. And he confided in me that, Charlie, I felt embarrassed when I thought I was going to get support from the mother, because he told me point blank, oh, this is my only daughter and I want her to be happy and I want her wedding to be a mega one with a huge expectation. So I also gathered, called friends, thinking I was going to get some help from the family of the young lady, only to be surprised when he got there that nothing of the sort came from the family. So just after the marriage ceremony, he had over 20,000 Ghana cedi as a loan to repay. Somebody who is now starting life with his wife, and they have these huge sums of money beckoning them for repayment. You see, so it is becoming something else. And parents, I think we should let them be aware. African parents, especially our mothers, please, when it gets to time for your wards to marry, let us be a little bit considerate so that they will not bring shame to you after their marriage.
Thank you very much for sharing.
The women expectation of men. You see, one of the problems the men are facing this time is that, you see, the women at the time maybe you go into agreement of making, or maybe marrying, or you are into courtship, you are into a relationship. That is when they want you to bear all their burdens for them. It will shock you that you are moving a woman you want to marry, and the next morning the woman is bringing her rent. Please, can you pay my rent?
My mother's rent.
Can you get me that? And if you refuse to do that, it means you are not caring. You don't have helpful.
Yes, you
And
don't have
this man can be a man who can help you in the future. So we meet this type of women with such an expectation. Even at all, some of them, even by the time they are leaving for some occasions, wedding, they want you to pay for their clothes or get them new clothes.
What about if you don't get it?
Hey, then ready for fight. ready for misunderstanding, ready for anything.
That comes.
Because they are ready to tell anything. What kind of man are you?
I think this will even let me in the near future do, a video on what ladies do that puts men off.
Yes.
That would be
Yes. All right. Let's go ahead.
So you see, these kind of expectations are there to put the men off. And some of them also, some men will even go beyond doing that thing and then they find themselves in trouble. So they have to go for loan. I know some of them who went for loan and their debtors are for them.
But you don't need to go for a loan for a wedding. You plan little. There were people between you. What you can do, then you do it.
And that's what it happens. So many men are in debt crisis because of these issues. We have similar cases whereby the women, their demands are too much for the man to carry. Now that not when they are become their wives, they are into relationship, they are into courtship or whatever.
But do you think it is wise for somebody to keep such a woman who is so demanding? Because right now that you've not gotten married to her, that she's caused you a lot of debt. So do you think it's advisable for one to keep such a woman?
No, but it take abnormal love for a man to see this thing with a woman and still go in for her. It's abnormal love. So I think
it's quite interesting. You will say it as it pleases you now, but when you are caught in the net, that my heart is with her. I'm giving full 100% of my heart to her. When that happens, what you are saying will not come in. So these days, I'm happy to hear most people are saying love with conscience. Yes, love with conscience, because you can't say that, oh, I'm in a relationship, we have not gotten married yet, and I want to burden myself of paying your rent, your this, your that, your that. Yes, of course, sometimes if the person has it and free will, you want to help, fine. But you don't come and burden me because we are in a relationship, of which I don't even know the tomorrow of the relationship. Maybe as we go on, something will crop up and I will feel I can no more continue with it. But then I can't task you for the money.
Yeah. I don't okay. Let me be honest with you.
Yes.
In this case, we have witnessed so many cases whereby men have paid enough just to prove love to the woman and have found themselves wanting. And even though, in the name of love, in the name of showing how responsible I can be for you in the future, and some of them, they know how the genesis of the whole thing, yet they are not willing to leave the relationship.
You mean the men or the women?
The men, they are not willing to leave. But
I find it true.
some of them also complain. But yet, Mama said, I can't do it.
Oh.
So we have that's why I said that it takes abnormal life for you to do that. But somebody like me, Clement, when I look at the say, me, yes, we can come and tell you. I'm not listening to you. There are some people.
And I forget not the boy here.
Sometimes.
I don't know whether you can be forgetful.
For those who don't understand, when you come to Ghana, there is what we call for girls. For girls, it's believed that it's a juju or some medicine we use to woo women, especially if you are trying to woo the woman. But for me, I don't believe it. Though some people may believe it. That's what we call for girls.
Yes.
Don't worry, go ahead.
You like.
No, you like.
But to be honest, some men take pleasure to spend on women.
Okay, then they should continue
Me,
spending.
I know some of them in my area.
Okay.
The first time she saw the woman at a police station in a certain area in Newtown, and they talked about, then he said, "No, take this money to buy credit," and the money was $500.
Wow.
And the guy said, "Chairman, now this kind of money is a fraud. You know how much we spend on women. What do you do to her?" So it's a pleasure for him to do it.
All right.
So there are some, we have different cases, we have individual differences.
Yes.
So, but I mean, Me, 500 Ghana cedis. Let me attest one thing. My wife will tell you this. I remember when we met, around when I was in Midtown, she was in the extension. She was with another friend. They were in the same house. And the landlord was taking the rent.
The rent, yeah.
So she asked them to leave.
Okay.
And she told me that she wants money to go and hire another room, rent a room. And I told her, Emma, listen to me. I am putting myself there to come and marry you. I can't get this money and also get money for you to go and rent another house. So better go to Plaza your mother and go to your parents. When I'm through, I'll come for you.
But was she working where they were taking them from? Was she working there?
Yeah, by then she was working on one restaurant in town.
Okay, all right.
She's a caterer.
All right.
Yeah, but their salary was just.
Very good, yeah. Okay, I see.
So, but I told her point blank, I mean, I'm not convinced, I'm less son, I'm there, so I'm the man in town. I'm not that man's son. To get money for your rent and also prepare myself for marriage.
I'm sure this is a lot of some ladies watching the video.
Yes.
I'm sure they make a result to when
Let them give me
you're
answers.
honest.
I told her point blank, that's my wife, you can call her.
Yeah.
And I told her, so go to your mother in Plaza. When I'm through, I'll come for you. And you know me, I'm an honest man. I'm
So
not
at
that
appropriate time you went
that's
and
really
married. So at appropriate time you went and married.
Yeah, and lo and behold, the mother, one of the mother's friends at Fairfield,
Okay.
she went and stayed with them.
Okay.
Came to.
Thank
So
you.
me,
Very
I
interesting.
was frank with her
Yeah.
that, please, how was
I
that?
believe as a man, if you have it and you want to be frank, if you don't have it, be frank. Why should you go and borrow and people be following you? I was the best man for somebody's wedding so many years back. Later on after the wedding, I'll be walking and then people from the shop will come and call me.
Your friend is still owing.
I mean, you're not really paying, for this particular maybe suit or shoe. I mean, it's very embarrassing. All right.
Okay, Uncle Ato, let me add a little to what my brothers have already said. When it comes to our ladies' expectations of us men or young men, I think it will be a dream of every lady to have a husband who can provide everything she needs. And that would be fantastic. It is a world everyone would dream for.
Yeah.
But we simply have to be in touch with realities. Especially in a part of the world where we have minimum wage, that's true. But a lot earn just above the minimum wage. And that is not enough to get you the satisfaction you need. There are people, depending on where you get to work, salaries differ. So there are some who may be earning so much and will be able to provide all their ladies would dream for. That is fine. But if you are not in that position to provide all she needs, what can you do? No matter how much you care. And to start life with borrowing is a recipe for disaster to happen. So be realistic. Okay? Don't lie to yourself to do what you cannot do. And don't start what you cannot finish. Okay. So sometimes the pressure is not only coming from the women. The girls might be fine with whatever situation. But sometimes either the mother or some friends, they have attended a friend's wedding, it was glamorous. So, they want such a kind of a wedding. But you ask yourself, does my man have that kind of money to be able to afford that kind of wedding? And me, as a matter of principle, I'm a counselor in church. And so I tell the young men and young women, I don't believe in spending unnecessarily on weddings. If you have so much, let's put it into an investment.
For our future.
Because not many things are guaranteed. Today you have a good job, you can't guarantee tomorrow. So what we have today, let us maximize its use and not waste resources. So if you can afford to give her, all she wants, that's beautiful. But let's be real. How much do I have? Am I able to do ABC? If you cannot, let her know. If for that reason she wouldn't want to be with you, so be it. You will find somebody who will love you and respect you in the condition in which you are.
All right.
Thank you.
So, considering all that we have discussed, I would want each of you, by way of advice or whatever, so that our young men and our young ladies will learn from this, considering this topic of the challenges young men face.
So, thank you. You know, it is something we need to let our young men and women know about. You know, the world is not going backward. We are moving forward each day. So the economies of every country and the world is in trouble now.
Yeah.
So young ladies, young men should know this and know it right. That it is not all the time you will have to interdepend or depend on people because that person's intention for you in the near future is maybe marriage or whatever. You should be considerate, because when you look into your father's pocket and you find out that your father's pocket is nothing to be written home about, then of course you should also know that the man you are meeting, the man you are moving with, you should consider him or her. Yeah, because it's not easy.
All right. Thank you.
Well, by way of the final word, I would say that life is a process. We have to begin from somewhere and we journey. So, as young people, we should not expect to have everything before we decide to settle down. And we should have an understanding of ourselves and support ourselves to grow together.
Yeah.
Once we learn to grow together and do things together, things will get better. And things get better for all of us as husband and wife. Let us not be too demanding in our early years. That will cripple our progress into the future. And families should also understand the times in which we are. That young men and women are going through a lot of crisis. So let us limit the demands we put on our men especially, so that they can build momentum to rise in life, so they can better support their families.
Thank you very much.
I also advise the youth that we must adjust to situations in life. Since we are coming from different backgrounds, eventually we are coming from a good home or a rich home. I come from a poor home, so I know how to spend my money, know how to spend money. But when we come together, even by the will of God, if that difference is still there, it will not resolve anything. But if you learn to adjust to a man who doesn't know how to spend so much and a woman who knows how to spend much, when we adjust to each other, we can build a formidable home and become good husband and wife, and also raise a better future for ourselves. That's what.
Thank you very much, friends, for making this wonderful. I believe not only men, but both men and women,
Yeah.
boys and girls, and even adults are going to learn from this. From this, like I told you, I've seen that there's a need for prime testimony to organize another discussion on why or things that make men unhappy or put them off, for which reason they cut off relationships. And I believe when that discussion or that videos will come, people learn from that, because some of them, their fiancés and fiancés or whatever, they leave them and sometimes they don't even know why. There are things that men are not happy about, and I think I have to do it for the ladies too, so that the men also get to know why some of the ladies sometimes also leave them along the way. But until that one comes, let's keep watching Prime Testimony Channel. My name is Ato Orientation. See ya.